Hey guys, it's me, Pickwick Gamer. Today I am going to be playing Kerbal Space Program, and FYI, this is going to be my first video! Yay! Okay, I'm still new to editing software, so I can't edit and pause, but yay! So, now I'm going to be making my first few videos tutorials for games. So, as you can see here, I have a default one. But I'm going to start a new one for the viewers. I'm going to call it YouTubers. No, not YouTubers, YouTube. See? And I'm going to have it as a sandbox. You can select your flag, but I think that's good. I think this is like reasonable. I like normal. You can enable these if you want. They're extra challenges. So once you have got it all set up, you hit start and just read it. Welcome to the Space Center. Nice to meet you. I'm Dean Kerman, flight director, and your guide for this quick introduction. He'll help us out here a bit. Space Center is where we are, and use the right mouse button to move the camera, or I could use the arrow key, or use the arrow keys to move. So, right click over facilities to see them, and left click going up. So my first video is going to be the basics. So yeah, Warren von Kerman, he's going to, so yeah, can look around and using the arrow keys, that is actually the first part. So there are two parts. There are command pods, which can hold Kerbals, and there is probes that can't hold Kerbals, and they're unmanned. I like using probes because they limit chances of death. So I think I'm going to since I'm a pro, I'm going to do crewed right off the bat. So here we go. Now, first off, with a crew capsule, if you want to return them home, you need a parachute, obviously. Not protect, that's another thing we'll get into. To slow down in the atmosphere. Then we'll grab a heat shield to help us not burn up and melt ourselves. A decoupler to separate ourselves from our rocket. So now fuel tanks. Or yeah, I'll do a fuel tank real quick. Like so. And swivel engine. Another decoupler. Then I'm going to show off I'm going to show SRBs off in the first area. So and you can actually make it stronger by you can use the symmetry thing to help make like a boosters, solid rocket boosters. And if I'm going a bit too fast for you, then there's this KSpedia which can always help. It tells you stuff from interface to in flight, or even in asteroid mining and drilling, which is in the game. So yeah, and the antennas are important for probes because if you enable all the communication thing, then you can actually send it, and that you'd actually need these. Though probes have built-in antennas, so you don't need them if you're doing like straight up down. So yeah, that's well, going to do for this first. You can save and load. Opening, you can actually load crafts, and then you can actually restart here, save your craft, change the flag for them, and yeah. Then there's action groups, which are important and for later on, and your crew. So you start off with 4 Kerbals: Jebediah Kerman, Bill Kerman, Bob Kerman, and Valentina Kerman. Valentina is the only girl Kerbal, though you could hire more if you go into the astronaut complex. See? So now, that we're done with that interface, also if it's too hard for you to find through the air, you can actually go through an advanced mode, like your size, function, resource, manufacturer, tech level, and even your own sub-assemblies. So now let's get on to that. Okay, a train just passed by, honking at me. There it is again. So anyway, changing topic, back onto Kerbal Space Program. So this is for your probe stuff. It doesn't really do much now because we have a Kerbal inside. So interior overlay can show you the inside while you're out of the craft, or you could also see it from his perspective. Kind of cramped, but and you can also have ones that do multiple. And I'm just trying to find the button to get out. It's V. So and they have different specializations: pilot, engineer, and scientist. Jeb's a pilot here, so he can do all this kind of fancy stuff. So shift and control can get through can give you different throttles. Shift goes up, control goes down. T does SAS, R does RCS for like low maneuvering thrusters, which I might get into later in advanced stuff. And then that's it for the controls, as well as roll with E and D, D and E right here, D right here. Yaw is A and D. Pitch is W and S. And yeah. So now to take off. In 3, 2, 1. So now here's a solid rocket booster burning. They burn at full throttle, no more no less. You could change the thrust in the VAB, and but they just burn straight in until they're out of fuel. And for your liquid fuel engines, you can actually throttle the liquid fuel engines, as you can see here. Good for landers. Now if I press M, you can actually see the map. So here's our planet Kerbin, and this is our apoapsis, our highest point. Think of like the top of the A being the tip of the orb being the highest point. And yeah. Also, if I hit the period and comma keys, I can actually speed up time or slow down time. Comma, I think, is the slow down. Yeah, comma is slow down. Period speeds up. And there are hotkeys for thrust. X does none, Z does full. So now I think we don't need the SAS now anymore. Now this music kind of creeped me out as a kid, because it just seems so weird sounding. But this music kind of signals you're in space. The atmosphere for Kerbin, which is the air, goes up to about 70 kilometers. So now that we're in space, we're going to decouple. And now here we are. We're going into orbit. Or not orbit, we're on a suborbital trajectory as you saw on the map. Yep, max height of 106. Yeah. And you can do all kinds of stuff. So now that we're done with that, I can in time warp back down. And we are going to land. Going to get a bit roasty in here. If you don't have a heat shield, you might burn. But there's that re-entry heat. And notice this meter going up? Yep, that is your how much G-forces your Kerbals are pulling. The G-force is kind of like how much gravity, how much it feels gravity is pulling on you. And yeah. So now let's pop open our parachute. I kind of heard our stuff explode. But we're not going to explode because we have a parachute. Give a little parachute. If you are kind of, though, if you feel like doing this, you could actually cut the parachute on them. Poor guys. And you can have more than one Kerbal in a command pod. Just some have limits. Like this one could only hold one Kerbal, but then you can get to ones that hold 2 or 3 or even more. And I forgot to mention, this is our nav ball. It shows you our orientation relative to the planet and is very helpful in advanced circumstances. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So and you can also have your Kerbal go out on EVA. Just plop onto the ground if you want. So here he is. You can take a surface sample, which is a science experiment. I might go into more detail later. But basically they can get you science points if you're in career mode. So EVA report, wasn't necessary to bring the spacesuit. Or if you want, you could plant a flag, but I'm not going to do that. And as you can see here, I can actually have my Kerbal grab the ladder and climb on up. And they can even clamber onto things and climb like that. And he's floating! Yeah, they can go into a ragdoll animation like this where they just go all blah. Yeah. I'm kind of mimicking what he would be sounding like. Yeah, and Kerbals are kind of interesting little creatures. So now grab and board. And you can recover the vessel. Though if you are struggling, you don't have to recover a failed mission. You can just revert. And you can only recover when you're on the surface of Kerbin. And that's pretty much it for this episode. Goodbye.